Let me copy it and put it up here right quickly because I was not able to do or access my Facebook Live. Um, I have to use YouTube, but that's a great thing. So I get to use other resources, and that is always a beautiful thing. And nothing is going to stop me from doing what I set out to do. So while this might be a little bit of a delay, it's definitely not going to set me back. We are going to talk about today, and I'm going to give people just a few more minutes. Let me give them a few more minutes, just a few more minutes before I completely go into the subject. Um, I want to give people until 7:35. We're at 7:35. Looking for your phone? Right here. 7:35. We're going to get started right away. I'm just sending this information out. So this must be a pretty good subject since I'm hitting some of these roadblocks this morning. I'm sorry, I'm on a call. It's okay. My husband's like, who are you talking to? $7:35. One more moment. One more moment. I hope everyone is having a great day. I know, Sheila, when you get on here, you had a great start to your day with this workout we had going on this morning. All right. All right. So if you're here, ladies, and if you're in the time is now, go ahead and let me know that you're here. So that way I know who's watching, who I'm talking to. This is a public chat, so a public live video. So I just want to make sure that I know if any of you are here. And if you have any questions, as always, let me know. So let's get started. So last week, we talked about the 7 keys to changing anything in your life today, right now. We also talked about why people don't change. And the reasons why we found people don't change are: one, they're out of practice; two, they rationalize everything. They tell themselves a different story that might soften the approach. They also use softeners and they lie to themselves. The third reason that they don't experience lasting change is because they've had an ineffective strategy. They haven't had that coach, or they haven't had those tools that they need to be able to do what it is that they want to do. So tools make a difference. Now what we're going to talk about the pressure cooker effect. This is one more reason why people don't change. And they change, but it's temporary. It's not lasting change. And that makes a difference, because when we change, when we get on these journeys for, like, let's say weight loss, we get on these weight loss journeys, right? We don't get on it just to experience the weight loss for a certain period of time. We get on it because we want to experience a lifestyle, a lifetime of change. And so what tends to happen is we kind of go for whatever is put out there in the best way. And then we think that we can keep up with some of our old habits, and still experience that same change, when that is not so. That does not work that way. We have to establish good, better habits. That is what's going to give us change, lasting change. So let's talk about what the pressure cooker effect is. This is according to Anthony Robbins, but the pressure cooker effect is pain equals action equals results, but then you return back to your old habits. So, what is the pain part? The pain equals the drive. A person hits a threshold. For me, I'm going to use the example of my weight. Once I got to 315 pounds, I was like, how did I even get here? Once I topped 300, how did I get it? Why did I let myself get here? Knowing all the things that I know, this doesn't make any sense. The pain, physically, emotionally, of being even health wise, of being at 314 pounds caused me to want to take action. There was so much pain in this that there was pressure for me to make a decision about my health. So the pain that I felt from that situation caused me to take action. Let's use another example. Let's use marriage, our relationships, and infidelity. There's some things that we deal with in our relationships. No relationship is perfect. Some of us have dealt with infidelity, some of us haven't. Or cheating, or having a cheating spouse, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes it's not the first time that it happens, or the second, or the third, or the fourth, or the fifth, or the sixth, or the 20th, or the 30th time. But that one time that they do it and they bring a baby into the world, a new life comes from this. That pain may cause that woman or man to finally take action and say, you know what, this person is just not, we're not on the same page. They don't want what I want. And they make it a decision out of pain and they move on, right? So pain equals drive. Pain can actually be a great thing. Drive turns to action. So what happens? You have this drive now because of this pain. You take action and you work to eliminate whatever aspects, some aspects of that problem. So once I hit that threshold of 300 pounds, of over 300 pounds, that drive caused me to want to go to the gym every day. It caused me to want to seek out programs or tools that could help me with a kickstart or jumpstart into my new lifestyle. I was in so much pain. I was willing to do whatever I needed to do just to get results, just to live a different life, right? So once you start to experience the results of that action, it decreases the amount of pain that you're dealing with now, because now you're working out, you're looking good, you're feeling good. And then what happens after that? Or let's say you finally walk away from that poisonous relationship. Now you're feeling good, you're looking good, you're dating, but then you begin to do what? Go back to old habits. It's very easy to do that. So I want to give you a different example. I have a couple of private bariatric clients, and these clients are coming to me because of the fact that they went through surgery maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and they are now finding that they've gained all their weight back, or they've gained half of their weight back, or a significant amount of weight. And they're not understanding what happened because they were experiencing results. They did have the tool. Some of them were even reconsidering or considering doing the surgery, redoing the surgery again, right, to shrink their stomach size. But I had to let them know about this pressure cooker effect and how when you deal with this, you have to, when you have this pressure cooker effect, you are so comfortable that you stop doing the things that you were doing. You stop paying attention to what you're eating. You start being more comfortable eating more and more food. You know, you stop the exercising, you stop the water drinking, you stop taking your vitamins, all because now you feel really good about yourself and you feel the problem is eliminated. Right? Same thing with your spouse. When you feel like things are really good, you kind of go back to old habits. You stop doing the things that help create change. And then you find yourself in the same situation all over again. No. So results. You get your results when there's a lack of pain. The drive that that person had no longer has that drive anymore. And they gradually return to old behavior, right? So action leads to results. Results, if you're not taking care of what's on the inside of you, lead to you returning to those old habits because you get comfortable. So maybe not right away, but eventually you go back to your old ways. So results lead to the loss of drive. And then you return to past actions or you return right back to the problem. The problem remains. We can see this in weight loss. We can see this in relationships. We can see this in finances. We can see this in health. We can see this in every aspect of our life to include our spiritual connection with our source, with our creator. So, the minute you stop feeling that pain, you start going right back to those old habits, which now brings that same problem back to the surface. Now, the 7 steps to conscious change go like this. The very first one is you got to get disturbed. You got to get honest. You have to get honest about yourself. You got to get honest about where you're at. Once you're honest with yourself, you stop using softeners. You stop rationalizing things. What kind of things? How do you rationalize? Oh, I don't have time. I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I really don't need this. I'm doing really well by myself. I'm tired. This will take too long. It'll cost too much. It's too far away. That's how we rationalize. Those are some examples of how we rationalize. Get associated with your problem. Make it worse than it is if you have to. Everything, if we don't deal with it, whether it's our emotions, whether it's our health, our weight, our finances, if we don't get some kind of control, ultimately death will follow. Why would death follow? Why do we got to go to the extreme of death? Because if you don't get your health under control and you have a chronic disease, that chronic disease is not the only thing you have to worry about. You have to worry about how it's affecting your heart, how it's affecting your lungs, how it's affecting your brain, your ability to be mobile, your ability to do and think and see things properly, right? So if you don't get that health in order, death at some level or at every level is going to follow. Death will also occur if you don't get your weight under control. If you don't get your weight under control, all that pressure in your chest could cause you to have a heart attack. If you don't get your weight under control, you could die in your sleep because of experiencing sleep apnea, severe sleep apnea, and not getting it treated. There are a lot heart attacks. There are a lot of different ways to experience death. If you don't get your finances under control, right? You experience death in your finances. You experience a death of one part of you, and that matters. That's important. If you don't get your relationships under control, you experience death in those relationships. So make the situation worse than what it is if that's what's going to cause you to move and to have action. Surround yourself with people who have what you want. Link up with someone who is doing what it is that you already want to do. Link up with someone that you trust, that is not just preaching to you, but is also living life in the same manner. They're doing the same exact thing that they're telling you to do. They're transparent, they're open, they're honest, right? That is step one to creating life on your terms. Step two is making a real decision. You have to decide. You can't go back and forth anymore. You can't say, I should do this, I should do that. No, you cannot do that. You have to make a decision. You say, I am going to do this. There's only 2 ways to do something, there's only 2 ways to commit. Either you're in or you're out, and you have to make a decision. Is death significant enough to cause me to choose life? Who's going to be affected? But is death a strong enough leverage, which in my opinion, it is very strong for me because I have children and a husband and I still feel like I have a lot of life left and I want to live it to my fullest, to its fullest potential. But is death enough to cause you to make a decision? There's something that Anthony Robbins talks about constantly in his programs, and that's RPM. R stands for results, P stands for purpose, M stands for massive action plan. So the R, what is the specific result I am after? What is it? What is the specific result I am after? You have to be able to identify that. You need to articulate what you're after. The P stands for purpose. So why do I want to do this? What is my purpose for doing this? Your why and your purpose is going to be what helps you keep going, even in the face of adversity, even in the face of challenges. What specific actions must I take to make this happen? That's the M. That's the massive action plan, also known as MAP, as the acronym, massive action plan. So it's time to get honest now. We're going to do the very first writing exercise. And after I let you know what it is, I want you to pause until you're able to do it. And then I want you to press play when you're ready to move on. What are you unhappy about? What are you unhappy about in your career, in your business, in yourself, in your relationships, in your spirituality, in your rationalizations, how you rationalize why you don't do things? What are you unhappy about? Write down a few things that disturb you right now. Press pause, write that out in your journal, and then come back, okay? Give yourself a couple minutes. It's always on your time. Awesome. So now you're done with that. If you have not written down what disturbs you, I need you to write that down. We cannot go any further until you write that down, okay? Next thing, if you're disturbed about yourself, right? Self-care, self-love, that disturbs you. I want you to get honest with yourself right now, and I want you to write down, what are you committed to doing instead? What new result do you want? And what's your purpose? Why are you committed to obtaining this result? You're going to write that down. So I am committed to doing XYZ because I am committed to completing the 30-day workshop because of XYZ. Why are you committed? Press pause. Once you're done with that, press play. And I have to eat my breakfast or drink my first meal. I'm not a big breakfast eater, so I love making this nutrient dense shake every morning. It tastes good, keeps me full for about 2 or 3 hours. I love it. Welcome back. So now step 3, create a massive action plan. It's time to draw your map. But what's the use of having a map if you never look at it? So you have to look at this map. You have to check this map out. You have to create a map that you're able to read. Okay? So put it on your terms, not my terms. Put it on your terms. We're going to brainstorm some action plans. How can you get straight into action right after this call? What can you do? So we want to make us follow through. We want to make ourselves follow through, and we want to come up with a list of actions that will produce results. We are result oriented. We are result focused. So we want to create an action plan to help us get results. So let's say you're committed to giving yourself more time. You're committed to self-love, right? So we're going to choose that one new result you're committed to achieving, and we're going to list all the things you could do to achieve it. We don't need a perfect list. We just need a list of whatever comes to your mind. What can you do to achieve the result you're after in self-care and self-love and giving yourself time first? We're going to include little things and you're going to include big things on this list. But we're not going to finish this day without doing one of those things on that list towards the goal that you're after. Okay? So take a few minutes, press pause, and write down and brainstorm some of your action items. Very good. The next thing that we touch upon on our workshop is changing our limiting beliefs. This is something we have to work on daily. This is not anything that gets fixed overnight. A belief is nothing more than a feeling of absolute certainty about what something means. So if you have a belief system that's not serving you, join the 30-day workshop. We can help you with that. But we have to remember beliefs control our behavior. What you believe controls how you react to something, how you judge someone, or how you believe things should be. Just your belief system alone. Some of you believe that, well, my mom was sick, her mom was sick, her mom's mom was sick, so I'm just meant to be sick. Or some of you believe, well, hey, you know what? I'm Hispanic and Black. I'm supposed to have hypertension and diabetes because of statistics. Or, you know what? I didn't finish college, so I don't deserve a great life. I don't deserve to live my dreams. In order for you to be successful, you have to finish college. You have to buy a house. You have to get married. You have to have kids. You have to have a good 401k. You have to drive a new car. Beliefs, right? So they could be unconscious or they could be conscious. And they often stem from things we've heard or seen. Maybe we felt a lot of emotion about it and then repeated it to ourselves again and again and again. Beliefs. So I want you to write down as many old beliefs as possible that have kept you from following through on your goal in the past. Write those down right now. Go. Now I want you to write down some new beliefs that will empower you from this point forward. For example, I believe I'm the master and creator of my life. I believe that because my connection with my source is stronger, that my desires line up with the will for my life. Therefore, I can go and with confidence and without being apologetic, can chase my dreams, can live life on my terms because I am now lined up with my source. I also believe that I have the ability to be my husband's best friend. I am his best friend. Our relationship and our marriage is always growing. We are always learning. It's always thriving. I believe I am the best learning coach for my kids because no one is going to want them to be great students as much as I want them to be great students. So I believe now I am equipped to do this thing, right? I will make a difference in society. I am going to inspire people with my story. So, all of these things, this language that we give to ourselves and we talk to ourselves matters. So, write down all your old beliefs and write down your new beliefs. So, go ahead and finish writing down your new beliefs now. And I'm going to take a sip. Next thing, set yourself up to win. Step 5, reward yourself. When you learn something new, most people don't do it perfect. And it's not about perfection, it's about excellence. It's about doing your best every single time. To win this game of life, you've got to reward yourself for doing things kind of right in the beginning. If you're waking up more than you've ever woken up in the last year early, just so you could exercise or meditate or pray or write in your journal, reward yourself. Do something great for yourself, right? It doesn't have to be food. It doesn't have to be go have a drink. But if that's the way you want to reward yourself, then do that. But do it in moderation so you don't set yourself back from any of your other goals, right? Do it in a way where you're not going to have to pay for it so much the next day. But reward yourself. Score the experience. Do the things that add emotional intensity and make the process more enjoyable along the way. If you're working out, you can listen to music, you can work out with a buddy, you can pray while you exercise, whatever. Choose things that meet your needs. Take advantage of net time. We talked about this a little bit. No extra time. Increase the value of your time by doing several things at once. No extra time. What could you do? While I'm cleaning or cooking, I could be listening to my personal development. While I'm cleaning and cooking, I could be praying and I could meditate where I'm at. I could refocus my mind. While I'm exercising, I could pray, meditate, do my personal development. While I'm sitting here meditating, listening to music, getting in tune with my environment, I can write in my journal. I can set my intention for the day. I can focus on what affirmation I'm going to use for that day. I can write down the things that I'm grateful for, right? No extra time. Measure your progress as a part of setting yourself up to win. You'll be excited about this. Ladies, if you're in this thing for the weight loss, for your health improvement, take pictures every single day and put a note on those pictures. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, whatever day that you're on. Your before, your after pictures speak 1,000 words. A picture will tell you more than any clothing size, any outfit, or any scale could ever tell you. I love pictures. I promote pictures. Take lots and lots of pictures. Okay. Now for this exercise, I want you to, we're going to focus on enhancing the experience. We're going to come up with 2 or 3 ideas that can help us look forward to doing the things that will get us results. What does that mean? What can you focus on? What can you pay attention to? What can you notice, appreciate, or enjoy? What will enhance the experience? So, what will enhance your experience of success? Huh? Step 6, take massive action. There's no time like the present. As soon as we get off of this live stream, I want you to go and do one of those small things to move forward towards your goal right now. There is no time like right now. Never leave a setting with a goal without doing something towards that goal. Does that make sense? Do something while you're inspired to do it, while you're in state. Make that decision. All right? There's power in incantations. You can't just get rid of negative belief. This takes practice. How many years have you practiced talking crazy to yourself? Think about that while I take this drink. How many years have you told yourself you can't do something? How many times have you said, ugh, God, I'm ugly. Ugh, I need to put makeup on. Ugh, I'm fat. How many times? So your incantation, your positive affirmations, the good things you speak to yourself, the life you speak to yourself is so important because you can't just get rid of negative belief. You have to replace it. For every negative thought you feel, you have to replace it with a positive one. Does that make sense? Of course it does. Massive action also creates momentum. So when you get off of this live stream and you go do that one thing to help you move in a place that you want to move, and then from there you go and you start reminding yourself of your strength, of your power, of your authority. That is all giving you momentum to your goal. You got to keep that up. You're going to want to keep doing that. Little action, big action. What are 2 actions you could take immediately to get yourself going? You're going to list a few little actions. Little actions might be making a call, sending an email, getting a quote, starting your meditation and prayer for at least 2 to 3 minutes. Start your 15-20-minute workout. All those things are little actions. And then what are your big actions? These are the things that take time. They take lots of energy. They take money. They take effort. So maybe if weight loss is your thing, maybe it's like, I'm going to go get a gym membership and I'm going to spend 5 days a week in the gym. Or I'm going to save my money up to buy a treadmill to put in my home. Or, you understand? All right. What's the 7th step? The 7th, power. When you care how people feel about you, you make them your peers and you give them power to influence the way you think. Gotta tap into that 7th power. That's the power of environment. Choose a peer group with a high standard. Utilize a coach and immerse yourself in an environment that reinforces you for your wins and challenges you to greater heights. That matters. Your environment matters. It so matters. A Marine Corps general said most people's lives are a direct reflection of the expectation of their peer group. Birds of a feather flock together. Make a difference? Get it? Birds of a feather flock together. So go do those little actions and those big actions you wrote down. At least start the big actions. Where do you start? Where are you going to start with this? Do them right away. And be sure to acknowledge yourself when you get them done. The power of action is so important. We have to remember that if we want to experience a life that we've never experienced, we have to be willing to do something we've never done. If we want something we've never had, we have to do something we've never done to get it. It doesn't have to compromise your character. It does not have to compromise your integrity. But it will cost you something. It may cost you some friends. It's going to definitely cost you some negative ways of thinking. But it might cost you. And that's okay. Enjoy the process. Enjoy what's becoming of you in this process. And take advantage of every tool. All right? That's my husband in the background clearing his throat in case you wanted to know what that sound was. And it's just going to be live and on here because I can't edit it. So that's what that is. We all have one, right? Allergies, weather changing, all that good stuff. But I appreciate you for tuning in. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment, shoot me a message. Go follow me on Instagram and on Facebook under Mrs. Missez Coach Stokes. You can DM me. I'm happy to answer any questions. And if you're interested in the Time Is Now 30-day workshop, that starts every fourth Sunday of the new month. And I will be accepting registration starting next week, where you'll be able to take advantage of an early bird registration fee, which is basically probably about $280 savings. Okay. And so you'll be able to start those prep tasks and give yourself plenty of time to get them done. And instead of just getting 30 days, you actually end up getting close to 50 days of really working on yourself and going in the direction of loving yourself better and first and giving yourself